Hey everyone, Suckerbo here. I'm back with another video for you guys. We're here. Hey everyone, I just wanted to correct myself because I said Portsmouth instead of Portsmouth, which the area where we went is actually pronounced Portsmouth, not Portsmouth. Yeah, and there is a lot more history for the rest of the video, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and we're here at one of the haunted cemeteries, or said to be haunted cemeteries. This is also the oldest cemetery in the city. Also, it was a family cemetery in 1671. And then it became an actual official regular cemetery in 1682. There are no graves above 1682. We're here with Elizabeth Pierce's grave right now, right here, and she is said to gently push people who stand near her grave, or people who are literally like right next to her grave. There was a paranormal investigator who came here, and she said that she was pushed by Elizabeth. I don't know if that's fully true or not, so I kind of take it partly with a grain of salt, but a lot of reports also say that she's pushed other people, so again, I don't know if that's true or not, but this would be hard to paranormal investigate only because it's such a public area. So like if you try to literally do the EVP sessions, because there's so many people coming around, so you might actually pick up actual people talking, and it's nothing paranormal, so like those are a completely null and void here during the day, unless you're allowed to come here at night. So depends. But also this cemetery is very cool because I want to show you guys how you can get in and out of here in just a couple seconds, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's get into it now, guys. So this gravesite is extremely old. As you guys can see, there's like a lot of tombs that I don't even know if they're tombs that are sunken in or what. See them over here, these ones right here. So I think that these are just sunken in tombs actually, because there's like 3 over there, I think. I did a lot of research, so I got confused with some of the graves. That a lot of the graves that I recorded for here, some of them I got mixed up. So most of it's for Old North Cemetery, as you guys can see. This is Point of Graves Cemetery actually. So this is Jane M., and she passed away in 1747. She is the wife of Nathaniel, who had once had a home, and they lived near a shipyard, near the bridge that is now Maplewood Ave. It produced the ship America and many other ships like it. Her husband was a colonial in the French and Indian War, and at the siege of Louisburg, where he saved the cause from disaster by constructing slides to pull a cannon through the wilderness. And that's why they're so important. There are actually more people buried here than it seems from what you guys have seen in this whole video. There is literally a lot of graves that are very synced into the earth. There is nothing above like 1682 in the cemetery. Also, I got a lot of my research mixed up before I came here, and it really sucks because a lot of people who I thought were buried here are actually buried in the North Cemetery, so I apologize for that. That's my bad. But there is a couple of people buried in the cemetery and the North Cemetery, also called as Old North Cemetery. In that one, there are a bunch of slaves buried there who were able to be freed after the Revolutionary War, as well as the Civil Wars, and they became very successful people after that, so I'm happy. But there's also a couple other people who I will talk about in North Cemetery because I don't think that they are buried here, and I'll see you guys soon. Hey everyone, we're back. We're now at North Cemetery, the second oldest cemetery in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. The founding fathers of New Hampshire are buried here, and I am excited to show you guys the cemetery, so let us get into this part of the video, and I hope you guys are enjoying so far, and I can't wait to show you guys more of this beautiful city. When I was doing the research, people wanted to literally repair this cemetery, and I hope that they do, but the Point of Graves Cemetery also needs some repairing because there's so many graves missing, and there's so many people buried there with unmarked graves, just like this one. The only difference is this one's more historical, and it is seen with more importance because of the founding fathers are buried here of New Hampshire, literally, and I love that. And also I really like the graves in here. I don't know what these are. Maybe are these like different types of tombstones, I guess, because like that obviously is a crypt. And then this one's over here broken. Actually, I don't know if that's a piece of that stone, actually. But I feel bad. I have to apologize 50 times because, like, I'm walking, like, again, there's, like, no order here. It is literally everybody is just, like, buried wherever. But that's normal for, like, really, really old graves. Because, again, I've only seen this in, like, the Deerfield Cemetery. Deerfield, Massachusetts, not New Hampshire. Because there is a Deerfield, New Hampshire. I'm talking about Massachusetts. I am from around that area, actually. And they have these here. And then they also have these at the West Summers Cemetery. They have those there, too. So, like, that's how I can tell, like, this one's really old. Yeah, so you can see the pond over there too, because I knew how big this place is. Are you okay? I saw you were trying to hit bugs on you. I thought you were trying to swat away mosquitoes. What in the heck was that? My mom's trying to get my attention. I thought that she was hitting herself because of mosquitoes. Even though we put bug repellent on, because look how long the grass is. This is a family grave. Wait, no, it's not. Oh, yeah, because that's one of the prominent families was this one, and then the Richards family. I'd never heard that, but Penn Hollow is one of the bigger names of New Hampshire, and they're buried here too. This is really old. They obviously redid this. The plaque is new, but that's just because of the decay over here. And then there's like a similar one over there, which is smaller. There's a hole here, so that's why there's the cone. So with old cemeteries like this, when the ground seems to like cave in a little bit, do not step on the ground because you're gonna probably fall through, possibly. I can't really read this, but I will get into most of the history pretty soon. I'm not gonna find people's graves to talk about them because, like, I don't know where anyone is, and that's gonna take me, like, all day because look how big this cemetery is. And we don't have that much time for today because I want to go eat food, which is relatable. I really want to eat food. I'm hungry. I'm very hungry right now. I want to eat food. You guys are probably gonna hear, like, my stomach actually pretty soon because you guys can see the damage over here and over here, all over here. I am sweating my butt off. Just because I'm wearing shorts, it doesn't mean that I'm not sweating to death. Just so you guys know that noise is not like anything paranormal. It is literally just like seagulls, honestly. So right here, this place is huge. Land was established in 1753. It was land bought from John Hart, who is actually, I think he was buried at Point of Graves Cemetery, actually. And then this cemetery was used up until 1926. So this is, like, nobody is able to get a plot here anymore, but there's, like, a lot of people buried here. A lot. And then this is the second oldest cemetery in the city. There are, the founding fathers of New Hampshire are here, and they were also part of the Revolution, the Revolutionary War. We're literally by, like, the ocean. Even though it technically said that we were more near a pond, actually. So, I don't know anymore, honestly. This cemetery is also known or said to be haunted as well, but I can't blame it because it literally started around the 1700s. So this cemetery is like around like 400 years old. While Point of Graves is a couple years older, obviously. Well, actually more than a couple years, honestly, because that was officially established in like 1682, while this one was established officially as a burial ground in 1753. There's a lady named Esther who is buried here, and she is very important because she is married to Captain Richard Billings, who passed away in 1808. He was a sea captain, and he was a clerk of Market of Portsmouth, and he was once a clerk for John Hancock. For Richard Billings to work with or for John Hancock, that is pretty big, honestly. He is also buried in the cemetery. And then there's George. I cannot pronounce his last name, so I'm just going to say George B. I apologize. So from 1787, he was a successful shipbuilder whose home was located on North Street Mill Pond, he was waiting to avoid the Revolutionary War. So he sailed all the way to England. He returned in 1787, so he didn't die in 1787, my apologies. And he brought back gravestones with him, and needing to make use of it for the only 2 days before heading home, so he brought gravestones with him. It didn't specify like who the gravestones were for. It was his. I have no idea. There is also Thomas Clark, who is from Massachusetts, and he was a regiment of the Civil War. It's a point in the military, so it's like a military status. Me and my mom kind of looked up the other guy from Point of Graves, who was age 26, and he was also from Massachusetts. We're also from Massachusetts. We're not from New Hampshire. Anyway, so in our cemetery, there's Supply Clapp Esquire. I think that's a person. I don't know why, like, I think that's his name. Yes, 1811. I thought I messed up. Captain H, I cannot say his name. Russells, I can say his last name, was a volunteer of New Hampshire, and he was also co-regiment of the Revolutionary War. I apologize. I am tired. I got up at like 7 a.m. and also 6 a.m. this morning. I am tired. Sidney Cutts, daughter of Samuel Cutts, that is their last name, by the way. It is Cutts. Who had a very notable role in the capture of Fort William and Mary. Then you probably don't know much about the raid of Fort William. And that happened in the 1700s, so it's probably around the time period of 1743 down. But it didn't happen exactly in 1743. I'm just saying that as an example. 1700s, that's when it happened. He was also Paul Revere's contact in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. So he's pretty important, obviously. And we never learned about him in school, but also I'm from Massachusetts, so no wonder. When he arrived to warn the coming of the British, obviously Paul Revere, you guys get that, so I'm sorry if that sounded very, very weird. Anywho, Hannah Cutter, who is also buried here, 1832, wife of Dr. Ammi Cutter, R. Cutter. His name is spelled A-M-M-I. I could have spelled it wrong, honestly. I'm horrible at spelling. Who was in charge of the medical department of the Northern Army during the Revolutionary War. Whew, okay. And then Corporal Robert F. Renouf, 1862, age 29. He was also from Massachusetts. He died in the Civil War. So Esther M., I cannot pronounce her last name either, 1858, daughter of Prince Whipple, a farmer and slave who was a part of the Revolutionary War, and he's a veteran of the Revolutionary War. Also, he is also buried in the cemetery too, by the way, and he was a successful slave after they were freed. He became a businessman afterward, her father. Charles H. Sanders, 1828, he died of dropsy of the brain. If you do not know that term, I was on the phone with my best friend. She's going to be a nurse. I asked her what that was because I was curious, and so she was confused at first because it's an 1800s term we don't use anymore, but it means water on the brain. So if you didn't know, now you know. Also, Pamela Randall, if you also watch Outlander, you would recognize that last name, by the way, but they're all fictional characters. Anyway, Randall Sellers, 1840, she passed away, and wife of Captain James Sellers, commander. I think we passed his grave earlier, and he was a ship captain and Revolutionary War veteran who died in Bristol, England. So I don't know why he was in Bristol, England, but who knows? There's more about their history, but I only did a little bit of it. So Thomas Sheaf, he was buried at the Point of Graves, and then he was moved from the Point of Graves into Prescott Park. His memorial is there. I think they moved his body there. I'm not fully sure. That's just what it says. Okay, he was a merchant and owner of Sheaf's Wharf, now located in Prescott Park. It was where his ships that brought the yellow fever epidemic of 1798 into port, killing 60 people, including his children, with yellow fever, which sucks because he was in England and then he brought it back and he killed 60 people within the city, which probably this was a town technically back then, but now it's a city. Woo! And then also Elizabeth Elton, I can't pronounce her last name, Elayton, that makes more sense. Elayton D, 1794. She died a few weeks after suffering in a fire that consumed her. It happened at her son-in-law's house, and her son-in-law was a Revolutionary War veteran, and his name was Nathaniel Rogers. Nathaniel Rogers' house caught fire, and she died from suffering from burns from there. And then Elizabeth Frost, 1696. I'm not sure if she's buried here or if she's buried at the Point of Graves. Either way, I didn't have time to check, honestly, and this place is huge. There are also a lot of spirits present in this cemetery too, but there's not much reported, just people hearing voices and stuff like that, or feeling feelings, grief. But technically when you're in a cemetery, again, it's normal to feel grief in the first place, so I just think that's bullshit. And then they also try to communicate non-verbally, which is also here. And then also our last location for today is the Chase House. So I'll see you guys in the next clip for today. See you guys there. We are now at the last location in Portsmouth, Hampshire, and this is the Chase home. This house was built in 1762, and it was owned by Stephen Chase. From 1882 until World War I, this house was served as an orphanage after the last of the Chase family were raised in the house back in like 1881, but they had to sell the house and it became obviously the orphanage. And then also John Underwood, who built this home back in 1762, and then Stephen Chase bought the house in 1799, and this house is now owned by the Strawberry Bank Museum, and people can tour this house as well, by the way, to get that out of the gate here. And Stephen lived in this house comfortably with his family for years, up until the last of his descendants sold the house, obviously, to become the orphanage. And Stephen had 3 daughters and 2 sons who lived in the house. He passed away and left his widow Mary to live in the house up until 1881, where it became the children's home soon after. During becoming a children's home in 1883, it was an orphanage for 25 years until this house needed more funds for the home and it dispersed. And this house is said to be haunted by multiple children, but it says that when you research it, but not much of the information comes from it. But it was also heard that like the children who were in the orphanage in this house were treated horribly as well, and it said that, but when I was doing the research, I'm not fully sure if it's true or not because there's no Wikipedia on this house. Like when I was trying to do the research, it was hard due to the fact that like it really want to confirm my answers, but there's podcasts and stuff like that on it. So this is alleged of a haunted house. You can tour this house though. I don't know if they do haunted tours, obviously, but I just wanted to say that. But there is a young girl so she tied a rope in her room, and what is said that she passed away in her room. I don't remember how old she was. Some sites say that she was 13, some say that she was younger. Not fully sure, because again, like, I couldn't get like that much information out of it. That's why I don't know if I don't think it's fully true. But whenever you tour the house, it's said that you can hear her screams from her room, but I can't know if it's true or not, because one, technically I don't know if people are allowed to paranormal investigate here, to my knowledge. Also, there's not enough like evidence through my research to say if it was, to say that it's actually like real, because a lot of stuff that you see that says haunted or whatever nowadays on the internet, it's only for like touring and stuff like that. It's like for stuff that you have to pay and stuff. Another interruption, okay guys, I wanted to be frank because I forgot to bring this up when we were recording at the Chase house. So one fact that I forgot was that the first president of the United States actually stayed in the house as well while he visited Portsmouth, and that was back when Stephen Chase still owned the house, and he stayed there for a while and then he left. So he spent some time in Portsmouth, New Hampshire before, and I like the fact that they did restore the house and that you can actually tour it. So if you guys are actually interested and you love history, it is a good thing to tour the Chase house, because you'll be stepping in a house where the first president of the United States, George Washington, set foot in. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is us in Portsmouth. This was the Chase house. We also went to the Point of Grave Cemetery. We also went to the North Cemetery. And the North Cemetery is the biggest 1800s cemetery in New Hampshire as a whole, and that's what it says because I forgot to say that earlier, so I apologize. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.